Another day, another dollar, another TNA episode. Now, this episode was a very decent episode. I gotta be honest, this is really nothing spectacular. Hell, I even kind of slightly fell asleep a little bit, but I kind of picked myself right back up to kind of get this review out. So let's talk about TNA Impact on this very fine day. Now, we kicked off this episode pretty much with the Hardys, and if you've seen on the YouTube page, I don't know why they really released it before they kind of put it on Impact. It kind of ruined it for me a little bit, but seeing the Hardys sing obsolete. We seen Maxwell with the xylophone or the piano he's playing. He's exquisite. We seen Jeff singing. We seen Reby or whatever it may be, the Gardner singing. This is a pretty funny thing. Matt Hardy's doing his coming face. Everything was actually quite funny, and I think this is actually quite a good opening thing to kind of get into Impact. And we get to see also that she has a samurai sword, which is also kind of weird. But the Hardys definitely kind of felt very much strong inside of this episode, as they usually do. But I definitely felt like they were the best part of this entire episode, just in general. Now, the next thing we kind of kick it off with this promo, which is Mike Bennett, Moose, and Bobby Lashley talking about their match for the world title, whatever it may be. This segment was good for the most part. It's pretty much just trying to set up which will eventually, I already kind of like knew what it was, but it's pretty much Moose and Bennett. Lashley saying that he kind of met him, last week or whatever it may be. Turns out he's kind of like lying. Moose says he doesn't really work for anybody, whatever. And then it turns out Moose says that I don't really work for you. I don't really work for you. At the end of the day, I'm going to actually choose who's going to be walking into Bound for Glory as the champion. And that's kind of what it is, just in general. Moose kind of decides who he's going to kind of screw over. For the most part. The next thing we pretty much get is Matt Hardy, broken Matt Hardy, versus Crazy Steve. Now, this match itself was just nothing. It was just a twist of fate. Matt Hardy wins. That's kind of how it ends. But the best part of this entire match really was kind of like the opening thing. It was weird, but Crazy Steve was spitting out cum, and Matt Hardy was kind of like barking and biting at him. That opening stuff was kind of gold, and that was kind of like the best part of it. Other than that, there was not really anything spectacular. But what happened after the match was actually quite clever, a little bit. For the most part, is that they pretty much say, hey, Crazy Steve saying that just because, I'm alone doesn't mean, that decay is not everywhere. And turns out they actually have Maxwell, and he's referencing Rosemary Baby, which I thought was slightly clever. But, it is what it is. I thought it was actually kind of funny. Obviously, it was meant for laughs for the most part. But nothing really spectacular. We get an X Division promo coming up next, showcasing all the X Division guys. I thought this was a pretty good promo because it made me actually kind of give a shit. I think it was very well made and well done. It got me excited for the most part. The problem is I couldn't care less actually who actually won this thing, just in general. But that was up next, the Ultimate X match. DJZ wins. He's the new X Division champion. It was vacating because you haven't actually known. The thing about this match was that, yeah, it was a solid match. It was nothing spectacular. I feel like these Ultimate X matches, sometimes it gets thrown together so much these days that there's really no spectacular feeling to them. Remember when there was a time where TNA would actually have these things and they would actually feel very special? There's not really that anymore, sadly. But DJZ wins. He was the lesser of the evils because this is a shitty X Division. I said this before, but a very shitty X Division to the point where I really don't even give a shit. But congrats to DJZ. He was the only one I really cared about for the most part, but it is what it is. Some other things we got EC3 versus Eli Drake. Nothing really spectacular here. EC3 wins. He defeats Eli Drake. That a little backstage thing. That was cool. We also got to see Drew Galloway pretty much talking about why he, turned on the fans or attacked Aaron Rex. And it was a solid promo. Drew Galloway knows how to cut promos. I actually enjoy him on the promos side of things more than, the in-ring stuff for the most part. But I thought he actually did quite good here. The problem is, it's kind of felt like he was just saying that just because they didn't cheer me and they were cheering for EC3 and, Aaron Rex, that's why I kind of turned on them. So therefore, it just kind of made the feud seem like, at least the Aaron Rex thing, just like, hey, you attacked me, now I'm going to fight you. That's just how the feud kind of goes. So it just kind of felt a little bit worthless just in general, but, it is what it is. I'm not the booker. I'm not Billy Cringin. I'm just, me. Just in general. We also got Maria versus Allie. Maria's like celebrating for some reason. I forgot what was the reason why, but she's celebrating. Allie's in the ring also, and then, she's kind of yelling at her. She tells her to lay down, bring the ref out to crown a new women's champion. Then Knockouts champion for the most part. Then the match does happen. She lays down. Maria is our new Knockouts champion. Now here's the thing about this. I thought they could have done this a little bit at Bound for Glory, kind of built this thing up, but maybe they're going to try to turn Allie face within the next few weeks. So maybe they want that to kind of be built up, but I felt like it could have happened at Bound for Glory. Otherwise, I feel like this Knockouts division really is kind of just fading a little bit. I feel like we really need some sort of focus, because I don't know what is going to happen with Gail Kim. Is she going to battle Maria now? Or is Maria going to battle Allie? Because I don't know where Gail Kim is. Jade is kind of there. Marty Bell pops up with her stick once in a while. You know, it just seems like something's not really happening that well for the Knockouts division just in general. Also, just thinking about Moose very quickly before I get to the main event. I don't know what it is. At first I was like, okay, maybe they hired Moose for his wrestling skills, but that's not the case. Maybe they hired for his power skills. That could be reasonable, because it sure as hell is not for his mic skills. Because his mic skills in that opening match or the opening segment, that guy ain't really good at all. Also, the next couple things we got to see is like the backstage segments, or the house segments for the most part, the invasion of the house between Decay and the Hardys. Those were great. If anybody ever seen the movie Obsessed, I was expecting Reba to be like, you came into my house, you touched my child, and it was just going to be a big-ass cat fight. And it kind of seemed like it was, but, you know, Rosemary was, like, hopping around on top of walls or shit, or whatever the fuck was going on. It was actually quite hysterical. The Gardener took Maxwell out. The Gardener is the best actor by far in this entire thing. But, yeah, he's great, the Gardener. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of how we go. Then the final match is the world title, Mike Bennett versus Lashley. A decent match, very quick match, nothing really spectacular. Lashley wins, he keeps his world title. Moose actually screws over Bennett. Then after the end of the match, Bennett is kind of, you know, talking to Moose, kind of like talking him down. Bam, Moose pretty much turns on Bennett, and now they're kind of breaking up. And as I said before, my prediction was kind of right. It's Bennett versus Moose at Bound for Glory. It makes sense. For the most part. But at the end of the day, that's not even important, because we left off with a cliffhanger. That's right, a post-credit scene on TNA Impact, which is pretty much showcasing Decay heading to fucking, you know, Cameron, North Carolina, and now they're setting up, you know, the final deletion 2. Delete or Decay. The Gardener pretty much have prepared the battlefield. But I'm excited. I was kind of glad they didn't put that Bound for Glory, because I don't know how that would really have been interesting to see a pre-taped match for the audience. But it's next week, and now we can delete. That was exciting. I don't know what that was. But if you actually watch this thing, great. If you actually enjoyed it, you can actually comment, subscribe, and like. If you want to see it next week, then that'd be cool. And I knew you'd come. Comment, subscribe, and like. Once again, I'm Chris Smith, and I'm signing out.